This is Judy Fricks with your weekly Crime Stoppers report. Crime Stoppers is asking your help to solve the following crimes. If you know something, please report it. Even information that seems insignificant may be just what law enforcement needs to solve these cases. On St. Croix, on Friday, March 26, between 5 and 7 p.m., a thief stole a very thin aluminum Apple MacBook Pro laptop from a 2006 silver Jeep Wrangler with a soft top, which was parked near Off the Wall Restaurant in Cane Bay. The laptop is valued at $2,500, but to its owner, who's physically challenged, the information contained is very valuable. The minimum reward for the arrest of this thief is $714. On St. John, on Saturday, March 20th at about 1 a.m., while walking from the tennis courts in Cruz Bay, a man was struck and robbed by two black males who were 18 to 25 years old, medium build, and 5'6" to 5'9". One was armed with a .38 revolver. An iPod, cash, and house keys were taken. Afterwards, the two robbers ran toward the fire station. On St. Thomas, on Wednesday, March 31st, at about 10 p.m., police responded to a report of shots fired near Building 6 of Berg's home. On arrival, police found Khalid Gouchard, who had been shot multiple times and was critically injured. At this time, Mr. Gouchard is unable to tell police who shot him or why. Community members can submit tips on these or any other crimes at crimestoppersusvi.org or by calling 1-800-222-TIPS. Your tips are completely anonymous and the stateside operators are bilingual. If the tip leads to an arrest or the recovery of stolen property, illegal drugs, or weapons, you will be eligible for a cash reward that will be paid according to your instructions. Only anonymous callers to Crime Stoppers are eligible for these cash rewards. Please note, our technology makes it impossible for anyone to trace your tip back to you. To learn how it works, please visit our website at www.crimestoppersusvi.org. Crime Stoppers received 13 new tips from the community in this past week, naming 7 criminal suspects. Thank you for making a difference. I'm Judy Fricks for Crime Stoppers.